Okay, this is the last section in topic 5, so we'll be ready for a test early next week. For this one, I need you to recall when we talked about parabolas, like y equals x squared. Hopefully you can see that on the video. We actually used the graphing calculator and we graphed it. And then we did some different things to the equation, like we took that x squared and we either added or subtracted to it, like I'll add 3. And we remembered that that would just take that parent function, that x squared, and scoot the graph up 3 spots. Later on, we learned that in parentheses, we could take our x and add or subtract something to it before we squared it. And it kind of worked backwards. Remember this adding 3 in the parentheses wouldn't move it right 3, but it would actually physically take it and scoot it to the left 3. Well, what we're doing today is basically that same knowledge. Before we take notes, let's look through this real quick. Here's our parent function. Ask yourself, what does this do? Moves it up 3. What does this do? Moves it down 1. What does this do? It moves the parabola to the right 1. This moves the parabola to the left 3. So this does 2 things to it. It takes it and moves it to the left 1, and it moves it up 3. Now, those gave us the vertexes. The vertex of this one was 0, 0. This one was 0, 3. This one was negative 1, 3. Remember, that's the bottom or the top of the parabola. Well, for this topic, we're going to do the same thing, only with absolute values. So let's take some notes. 5-4. The book calls it transformation of piecewise defined functions. I'm going to call it transformations of the absolute value function. We're going to be dealing with the parent function f of x equals the absolute value of x. Grab your graphing calculator and let's learn how to graph that. All right. You need to be looking for this button right here that says math. So remember, to graph, we go to y equals. I'm going to clear out what I have in. If you have anything in yours, please clear it out. And then arrow up to y1, math, and there's a lot of different things that you can do here. We're going to arrow over to a number, and we want an absolute value, which is the first one. And then I'm going to put in the x. That's giving me the absolute value of x. And then I can graph it. Now, we actually did that already earlier in this topic by hand. I just wanted you to see it on the graphing calculator. I can actually take it and do the same thing as I did to my parabola. Let me go to y equals, math, arrow over to number, select absolute value of x, and add 3 to it. And you can see that it moved up. I can also move it right or left, exactly like I have done with parabolas. Okay, so if this is the parent function, I'm going to jot down 3 different functions, and I just want you to tell me how it compares to the parent function. That's nothing there. These are all absolute value bars. You can pause the video if you need a little more time to write these down and to write what happens to their graph. The first one moves down 4. This one, the plus 1, is going to move it left 1. This one is going to move it right 2, but also up 1. Now we need to know where the vertex is on each of these. This is the traditional v function, and the vertex is on 0, 0. If I take it and I scoot it down 4, it's now on 0, negative 4. If I move it to the left 1, it's on negative 1, 0. If I move it right 2 and then up 1, my vertex is on 2, 1. So you are going to today graph some absolute value functions, and they're just going to be real simple graphs. You're going to just kind of estimate where they are, and I'm not going to worry too much about the numbers. Let me show you what I mean. Example 4. Let's graph f of x equals the absolute value of x plus 3. So this would have a vertex of 0, 0, but it's moved up 3. So I just simply want you to locate where the vertex will be and just kind of sketch it out like that. Nothing fancy. Now we also learned with parabolas that if you put a value here, it would make it wider or narrower. For the purpose of what we're going to do here, then I don't believe we're actually going to do that in this topic. We'll save that for Algebra 2. Now, I want you to give me an absolute value function that is going to move the graph right 5 and down 7. Right or left moves in the absolute value, kind of opposite of what you would think. This would be x minus 5, and then down 7, that's outside, down 7. And that's basically what you're going to do on the assignment. Please do the assignment and then check your answers before you put them in the Google form.